Hey guys, it's Cord Ross and World 6 News. Today we're breaking down all the clues to who Deimos is in Rainbow Six Siege's new map layer in Operation Deep Freeze. Now for almost a year we've known that Deimos is the new bad guy against Team Rainbow, but we've known very little about him. We know that he's got a name based in Greek mythology and that he wears all black, and we've heard his voice and his accent. Other than that, we know nothing. However, I think at the end of this video we can put together a profile of this guy with his age, his nationality, and even where he comes from in that nation, along with other clues of what he enjoys and likes, and maybe a little clue of what we'll see in the future. Now in this video we could start in Deimos' office, there's a lot of clues there, but I actually think his private armory is going to be the best place to find a lot of very good information. So we'll start with all these lever action rifles. And to me, the fact that there is this many is a major clue. I still think that Deimos will end up in Rainbow Six Siege as a playable operator. I also think it's very possible that the version we'll get in-game will be a younger version from when he was in Team Rainbow back in his good days before he became a villain. So I'll be very disappointed if he doesn't have a lever action rifle. Although it may not be a particularly good gun for Rainbow Six Siege, maybe it'll have some sort of fancy ammo or something like that. Now another thing about lever action rifles is that they bring up the vision of the Wild West, of course. And there is a cowboy hat, or at least something that looks a lot like a cowboy hat. People with more hat knowledge can let me know if this is a hat from a specific part of the world. But with this combined with the weapons, I'm really feeling a bit of a Wild West feel here. We've also got many boxes of cigars as well. Now, a connection that may not be anything to do with Deimos is, I think, a little Easter egg to Tom Clancy. So there's actually some sunglasses and baseball caps. And Tom Clancy used to wear very similar stuff a lot, and I feel like this might be a little nod to him. And then we've also got a lot of whiskey as well, and this connects with the little whiskey glass on Deimos' desk too, which we'll see in the office later. Now, although this armory does have a lot of lever action rifles in it, there is some modern weapons too, with some AR based weapons. So he's not against using modern weapons, and maybe that'll mean that if he does get added into the game, he'll have a lever action and an assault rifle. He's also got a Mac 11 with an ACOG, maybe stolen from R6's earlier days. And then before we move on to Deimos' office, let's look at his gallery. So there's some very interesting military themed artwork in this room. The first one depicts a general on horseback, maybe someone like Napoleon, with an active battle happening in the background. The next painting is two officers on horseback coming at each other. We actually do get to see a flag in this one. It is a red stripe with white top and bottom, and again another active battle in the background. This is then followed up by another painting that pushes us forward in era to maybe World War I or World War II, where we have four soldiers. It kind of gives me the impression that this is the end of a battle with a lot of stuff still burning in the background. And then the final painting appears to be a Russian T-55. This was introduced after World War II, and it seems to be in active combat at this moment. No idea if these are real paintings or anything like that, but they obviously give us a bit of an impression that this guy is into his wars, his combat, and that does link in very nicely with his codename Deimos, which comes from Greek mythology. And he is the son of Ares and the personification of fear, and you're going to have a lot of fear in war and battles. Anyway, let's now move into Deimos' office where we can break down the final clues. So on Deimos' desk is a ashtray, a cigar, a chessboard with two chess pieces specifically placed, a whiskey glass, a tactical laptop, and a radio. Now I think this shows that Deimos is ahead of Team Rainbow at this point in time because he was able to set up this chessboard to send a message, as of course it just has two pieces on it. One is a black king and the other is a white queen. Now presumably the white queen would be Harry, who he eliminated, with the black king being Deimos. However, in the rules of chess, this means that white has not lost because you need to take out the king in order to lose. Actually, taking out the queen does not mean you've won. So although Harry has been eliminated, he is not considered to be the king of Team Rainbow, whereas Deimos is on the board there and could be taken down and of course defeated. The question would be, who is Team Rainbow's king? Now in Deimos' desk we also find Harry's voice recorder. This was Harry's voice recorder for many years. We even had it in-game as a charm at one point. And this audio recorder reveals that Harry knew who Deimos was, but he hadn't quite convinced himself that he had got it right yet.
Deimos has all the hallmarks of being a former Rainbow operative. Like everyone here, he is a force to be reckoned with. But when freed of the bounds of morality and protocol, he becomes much more dangerous. It just doesn't make sense. There's only one clear candidate, but now I need to go back over my notes, over the files, because it doesn't add up. It's not possible that...
What this also reveals is that because Team Rainbow has raided this place and taken it under their control, it means that they now have this audio recorder, which means they now know that Deimos was originally in Team Rainbow. That'll narrow down their search considerably. Then in the office, we have a fascination for masks. We have many different masks on the wall, 5 of them total, which have different colors. These actually blink in Morse code, which has been broken down by Titanium Rolo. She was able to figure out what the Morse code meant and then apply a cipher, and that cipher was Harry, and it translates to "it all starts with recruits." And at this moment in time, that means nothing to us. We also have one other mask in the room, and this one is positioned behind Deimos' desk, and is really quite a spectacular piece of art, and would be quite ominous to see Deimos sitting here with this giant mask behind him. But definitely it's a weird fascination with his own masks, and like I'm not sure what the overall connection is between him and masks, but considering the last villain in Rainbow Six Siege was the white masks, maybe this guy actually had some sort of connection or even helped to form them. And there is also bookshelves on either side of this artwork, but they seem to be quite generic, so I can't tell if they're connected to Deimos' history or not. However, there is one that is called Russian history. And we did see a painting of a T-55 Russian tank in the gallery, so it's quite possible that maybe all the artwork was Russian. But I think I'd be going too far with the connection because the books are mostly like placeholder. They literally say like 4 short stories and stuff like that on them. So they are very much probably just your average books that this game populates into the shelves. Now there is a few other items in Deimos' office that I don't think are connected to anything, but I'm going to show them just in case. So we have some black and white stones that are present in bowls. I don't think I've seen these in Siege as like background props, but I could have easily missed them in the past. But certainly I'm not seeing them as having anything significant in the connection. We've also got the Rainbow Six room, which I've showed before. This has maps that show plans to attack Tower, which has already been done as of last season by Deimos with a big attack helicopter. And then we've also got plans to attack Emerald Plains. Presumably that will happen in Season 1 of the next year. But anyway, let's now pull all this information together and make a profile of who I think Deimos is. And of course, in the comments below, leave your own profile of what you think based on the evidence we have here. So first of all, I think this guy is aged between 50 and 60. And I believe that he was probably a high rank in Team Rainbow operator back in the day. Don't know if he was the director. I'm going to think he was maybe like a team leader. I also think I know his nationality now. I think he is from the United States, and I believe that he's actually going to end up being from Texas. So if it gets revealed that the next operator in Rainbow Six Siege is from the United States, let's say Season 1 of Year 9, I am going to be highly suspicious of that. And I'm also going to imagine that this guy has a military background. Of course, Rainbow Six Siege takes people from all over the world and all backgrounds, and quite a lot of them come from the police forces and stuff like that, and some come from military. So I'm going to say this guy has a military background based on the paintings. And I think Deimos is also a very traditional guy. I think he knows what he likes, getting that kind of from the cigars and the whiskey, and especially the weapons as well. He knows what he enjoys, so he's got just, model after model of the same weapon that he's probably used thousands of times. As soon as it wears out, he gets a new one and just keeps going with the same model over and over. And if he does get added into Rainbow Six Siege as a playable operator, I expect to see him actually have a very low-tech gadget, maybe even as simple as just some kind of custom ammunition. But there is something that I don't understand at this moment in time, and that is actually the connection to Greece. So of course this guy is called Deimos. He's obviously picked that name for himself, and that is the Greek god that is the personification of fear. Now, very good name, and up until this point I thought, yeah, just a cool name to pick. So, the connection to Greece is just because the, Greek gods are freaking awesome, so cool. But the map layer also introduces us to the Kers Legion. This seems to be Deimos' private army, and in Greek mythology, the Kers were female death spirits, and they personified violent deaths on the battlefield. And certainly Deimos and Kers combined together sound like a good match. And certainly it's very possible that Deimos just liked Greek mythology. The only thing is that we also have a ton of other Greek stuff in Siege because Harry moved the HQ from Hereford in England to Greece. And that's where the stadium and all that is. And currently it's where we think Rainbow Six Siege is still based today. So it's kind of odd that there's all this stuff in Greece. But of course, we don't have a Greece operator or anything like that. So I'm kind of like, what is this connection to Greek? Is it just because they liked the mythology, wanted to bring it in? Or is there something more here that we're missing? And the other thing is that the Kers are all female. Everybody we've seen so far that is part of Deimos' little army are all men. So where is, like, I'm guessing we've literally not seen them yet, but I'm going to guess there's some sort of death squad of female bad guys out there. Like, unless he just decided to go with the Kers name because he liked it, but he still just had male operators in that team, I don't know. But I think there's definitely something else going on behind the scenes that we don't yet know about. And it's also possible that Deimos isn't the top guy as well, because Deimos is the name of the son of Ares. So there could be someone above him in the chain of command. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of this breakdown of all the potential little Easter eggs leading towards Deimos' actual identity, and if I've got any of them right at all, and what your own opinions are down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time.